Is that right? So I just wonder if we could have John come to the table. It's just 5 minutes, and the next one is at 1:25. So because we're at 1:01, we'll have the next one's at 1:30. So we'll come back at 1:30. So if you give our apologies to Deborah when we arrive. And I did notice that your submission really touched on the district plan review. So I presume you've got long-term plan stuff to talk to us about as well.
No, I've got very little detail to talk about. In fact, it was the last minute submission to right on the deadline of the time, and I thought, well, unless I get my name in print at this stage, I'm not going to get any referral later on. But anyway, thank you for the opportunity to present. And as I say, if you've been running short of time up until now, you'll probably make up a bit on my submission, which is very, very brief.
Okay.
I'm a property owner in Akaroa and have been for many years. I live elsewhere, obviously, and have had a long association with the town. I was very interested to hear the Akaroa Civic Trust presentation, which obviously presents much of what I'm talking about anyway, and mine was really just a presentation on behalf of myself and several owners nearby. I've had a bit of dealing with the various plans. In fact, I sat for some considerable time at Little River, I think, when the Banks Peninsula plan was finally hammered out. And all I'm really concerned about is with the merging of the two plans to ensure that the details and statutes and everything else that's involved in there flow over from the one arrangement at the local body to the other. So really, in terms, all I'm talking about is the historical zone of Akaroa, to ensure that, as far as buildings are concerned, that the issues of bulk and density are unchanged from the existing one. It's obviously a reasonably sensitive area of Akaroa, the historical zoning area, and just to make sure that we don't have any, shall we say, bulk or speedy subdivisions in areas that we're not consulted about. The other area that I was talking about, and please don't take me as being anti-greenie or everything else. I'm a supporter of aesthetic appeal and landscaping and forestry and everything else, as I'm involved as a property valuer and a farm consultant. So we deal with these things all the time. But in Akaroa, we have a rainfall that you don't really appreciate. It's probably near enough to 60 inches. And where we are, you have to murder the garden about twice a year just to be able to drive the car up the drive. And I'm not just speaking about Akaroa, I'm sure, because I know there have been some spectacular spats in Christchurch City and probably in areas like Fenelton, where people argue over a foot of a line along a boundary line, but also whether the leaves on your trees are landing in my spouting. I'm not sure whether there even are any rules as regards to waste from trees or tree heights or everything else. But I would say that in Akaroa, where view of the water and is so much associated with enjoyment of your property, that some form of code of operation is probably required, and whether trees should be not allowed to grow above the peak of the roof or the pitch of the spouting, I'm not quite sure, but I'd be interested in your opinion of it, and if there was ever a working party on it, I'd be prepared to come along and spend a bit of time with it.
Excellent.
Look, really, that's all I've got to say, Leanne.
We love people that end with an offer to be part of something. I'm going to get your local councillor to have a chat to you about the district plan review, because what I'm concerned about is that you need to be really speaking a submission to the independent hearings panel, and I suspect that time is now, because we've notified those chapters. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So I'll leave you to it. So thank you very much for making the effort. It's always appreciated that people do make the effort to come along.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. All right, everyone. So if we could be back here just after 1:30, I think we'll get started again. If we could let Deborah know that we're going to be a bit late coming